Hey, if you're like me and you kind of despise traditional cardio, it's super boring. You don't get much out of it. You still want to stay healthy, but you'd like to get more out of just doing mindless cardio for hours and hours. Stick around. I think I have something you like, and it's actually cheaper than most traditional cardiovascular machines. Okay, what I'm going to show you today is some basic movements to do with a battling rope and agility ladder. That agility ladder costs about $20. If that's still too much for you, you can always duct tape your floor, and then it doesn't move on you either. Battling rope is going to cost you about $100. If you don't have this much length, this is a 50-foot battling rope, so it's looped over about 25 feet either side. You can always get a thicker one that's even heavier. So anyway, my daughter was injured, and so she's doing some stuff to keep her conditioning for wrestling because she wasn't able to do live wrestling for a couple weeks. And I just would rather do this stuff anyway rather than doing my cardio on a treadmill or a bike, even though I have both. So the first movement we did there was in, out diagonal on the ladder, and the battling ropes was a movement called snakes, or drums, I mean. This one is snakes. So what Ivy's doing there, my daughter, is snakes, moving back and forth. And I'm doing in, out, forward. And now Ivy's doing it. So keep in mind, start slow, especially stuff like this where it's like 6 a.m. or earlier. She's doing it before school, and I'm doing it before I have any clients for the day. So as you progress, you can do a little bit harder movements, but start with the really basic ones. You're still going to get a lot of cardiovascular benefit and some coordination out of it. But you can see now I'm going sideways. This is in, out, out. As far as my foot patterning, sideways. So when you do this one, make sure you're not crossing over your feet. So this one is intended so you don't cross your feet over. So when you're going right, lead with your right. If you're going left, lead with your left. And that goes for all three of these. So you're not crossing your feet on any of these. That'll come later. So now Ivy's doing it. As far as the battling rope, I must be setting the watch right there. Okay, this is called waves, so you're just going up and down with both hands versus the drums where you're doing it every other one. And if you look at the motion, what I'm doing there is basically like a squat and a crunch down. So very similar to almost like if you use a sledgehammer coming down. It's great not only for your legs, but also for your abdomen coming down. So a lot of great things about it. All right, so this one's called hip rotations. A lot of people try to keep their feet are too far apart on this. What you're really trying to do is create momentum, go as fast as you can back and forth, really rotating your hips. And Ivy's doing a standing Russian twist with the battling rope. So we're about ready to switch here. Very similar motions, just one's using more of your upper body, the other one's using your lower body. One's focusing on super, super quick. The other one's, a little bit of power and muscular endurance. So that's what we're doing there. But like I said, make sure you're actually keeping your feet pretty tight. Don't let them like spread out too far when you're doing the hip rotation one. Okay, so this one's kind of unique. I developed this originally for football players, not just wrestlers, but it does really work well for wrestlers too because you're kind of down blocking going forward. So I call this one hand in, foot out. So your foot's going outside the ladder, your hand's going in. And you're trying to keep a good position. I originally started doing it for football players because I wanted something for running backs and wide receivers to be able to, they can touch their hand down just as long as their knee doesn't touch and they're not tackled. So they could duck underneath and get plowed right through defender trying to tackle them. As far as the battling rope, what I'm doing there is a movement called in-out. So it looks like the waves, but you're actually bringing your hands in and then out, back and forth. So I call that one in-outs. So here, this one is 3 across, 2 back. So it's kind of a juke move. Same thing, really good for, if you can't tell, I work a lot with athletes, whether they're soccer players, football players, wrestlers, and just people in general. Like they love it. Like the adults that I train, they love using the agility ladder because they feel young again. They're able to move fast. And so what you're doing there is you're going 3 boxes over, 2 back. So you're training your body not always to go the same repetitively. And as far as like, if you look at the battling rope right there, what I'm doing is one called gorilla slams. So this is not only waves, you're actually jumping up and slamming down as hard as possible. So you're getting that triple extension. That's really important for um, any sport. You know, explosiveness, getting the extension through your ankles, your hips, and your knees. So we're doing a little bit of repeats here. Kind of a right here, you know, so you can see it just much quicker. I'm doing this at 4 times the speed. This is in and out diagonal again. Ivy was doing drums again. And if you keep watching this video, you can go back and rewind it and watch in regular speed, or if you just want to continue with the video right here, you can actually see us doing the same things over and over that we did in the first circuit, and you'll get a good idea of how to do each motion. So I know it's a little bit fast here, so if this is too fast, but for your own time's sake, I just sped it up basically. So instead of doing all the circuit at normal speed again. So guys, if you haven't considered this before and you have the space, I would definitely do it. So you're doing agility ladder, about $20. Battling rope, probably $100. You know, if you're looking at a decent treadmill, you're probably going to spend $1,000. Decent bike, you know, 300, 400, 500, maybe even more. You know, especially if you get into ones like ones where you're doing like races and have a video and stuff like that. It's going to cost a lot more. So I get a lot more out of this. It's more fun, and you got to learn a little bit, but that's okay. And you might need a little space, but man, if you guys are like me and you want to do something more fun and interactive, and you can actually have a workout buddy because the equipment's right there. There you go. So if anything, guys, I hope maybe it opened your mind to not do basic cardio, but still take care of yourself and improve your athleticism at the same time. And if you want to know any specifics about any of the exercises or movements that we're doing here, leave comments in the section below. And I'll just be quiet and let you guys take it in if you want. And I'll see you on the next video. Take care, guys.